going to materially change your business and your life? What is the one decision that you are going to make today? That is what this particular masterclass is about. There are some of us, we are roaming around looking for signs. And yet it's there, it's banging on your head, and you're constantly still looking for a sign. Our businesses are our responsibility. It is nobody else's responsibility. What is the one decision that you are going to make today, that you are going to stick through for the next 12 months, that is going to make a difference in your business? You know, there are some decisions that when you make them, everything begins to conspire in your favor because you have had the bravery to make that decision. There are some decisions that when you make them, you now begin to see the opportunities that support that decision. But it first starts with you making that decision. Some of us have looked at our bank balance. I know. It's not nice. I don't know the last time you just printed and you looked at it and you let it marinate. Sometimes we need to look at that number and we need to stew in it a little bit and make the decision that I will never ever let this number be this low ever again. Mina, I've had that day where I looked at it and I let it sink within the depths of my esophagus. And I said, listen here, Hetty, I'm not going to let this number ever be this low again. How many sales calls do I need to make? How many emails do I need to send? How many calls do I need to make? How many posts do I need to make? How consistent do I need to be? How many people do I need to reach out to and say, I need help? Honestly speaking, as entrepreneurs, we truly are the people that are holding ourselves back. So that is my main question for you today. And before we leave here today, I want to hear from you. What is the one decision that you are going to make today to make a difference in your business? Now, I'm going to give you some guidelines in terms of how to come about with that particular decision. Every single decision that we make should be in alignment with the season that we are in. Some of the reasons why our businesses are not growing is because you are in the incubation stage, but you are making decisions for when you are flourishing. So let us have an honest conversation about where we actually are within our businesses. Let's talk about the incubation stage. I want you to think about a seed. When you plant a seed, you put it into the soil. At the point that the seed is in the soil, when we look from the outside, we don't see the seed. It's been incubated. It is dark. We don't know what is happening to that seed. Maybe you're at the beginning of your business. Maybe you are transitioning in your business. When you are in the incubation stage, it is very important for you to recognize what you need in that season. Sometimes we are in such a rush to be in that season where we're blooming and we're flourishing and the sun is shining on us, that we are not focusing on what we need right now. There's no shame in being in the incubation phase. When you are in that incubation season, you need knowledge. You need support. You need guidance. You need mentorship. You need coaching. You might even need an accountability partner that is going to hold you accountable to the promises that you have made yourself. So when you think of a seed, in order for it to begin to germinate and begin to grow, it needs all of those things, water, nutrients, etc., before it can begin to grow. Perhaps the decision you need to make today before you leave here is to say, I'm going to look for a mentor. I'm going to look for a coach. I'm going to get an accountability partner. You know what? I am too shy to talk about my business. I am finally going to do something to build my confidence in public speaking. You know deep down inside of yourself what that thing is that you need to be able to grow your business. Nobody needs to tell you. But you need to make the decision to take that particular action. Are we together? I'm not being too hard, right? Okay. So really and truly seeking the help that you need is so important, and understanding the type of help that you need. For me, I've been privileged to have some of the world's best mentors, not because they sought us out, because I went and sought them out. I remember one of our mentors, Ian Furr, the founder of the Sorbet Group. The Sorbet Group is renowned for having some of the best customer service. And after reading his book, Papa and I decided we need to be mentored by this person. How do you get a hold of Ian Furr? Then we saw that he was speaking at an event. And if you bought a VIP ticket, you would get to be able to have lunch with the speakers. We said, there's our ticket, there's our inroad. And so we bought the VIP tickets, we bought it on our credit card, we didn't even have the money to pay for it, and we went. And that is how we were able to get Ian Furr as a mentor. There are certain decisions that when you make those decisions, everything begins to change for you. I want you to use today as a catalyst for making the decision that you need to make to take your business to the next level. The next season is that season to sprout. You've been a seed, you've been incubated, you've been getting all of the relevant knowledge and information and nourishment that you need to begin to grow. Now, begin to grow, you begin to find yourself just beginning to sprout to the surface. A little seedling beginning to sprout to the surface. As you begin to sprout, one of the things that you need to start doing is building your networks. Remember, up until this point, you have been nourished by those that are pouring into you. Your coaches, your mentors, your support groups, your accountability partner, etc. Perhaps you've signed up for courses and so forth. Now that you're beginning to sprout, you need to start building your circle of influence. We are not all born with a silver spoon in our mouths, and so therefore, you have to be proactive in building your circle of influence. You need to step out of your comfort zone and step into your courage zone by going to networking events, attending conferences, going to seminars, raising your hand, and putting yourself in front of people. That is the only way that you can build your network. It's not going to fall onto your lap whilst you're sitting on the couch watching Muvango. No. You go out there and you build your network. Maybe today you shouldn't leave here without introducing yourself to 2 or 3 people that you did not know before you came here. That's how we build our networks. Sometimes we look at people and we think, oh, they're so lucky. They just, they've got, influential friends and so forth. Not necessarily. You have to be intentional about building your networks. And please, when it comes to building your network, please do not see your network as only CEOs and captains of industry. Your destiny helper can be a doorman. It can be somebody's PA. It could be the tea lady. It's interesting how sometimes as entrepreneurs, you'll go into an organization, you're going to go and pitch your business. You're dressed well, you've got your speech, you know how you're going to wow and dazzle the people that you're going to speak to, but you're rude to the doorman. When the PA is there, you're just giving them an attitude. And yet you do not actually recognize the people that have influence without a title. There's certain people where when they're making the decision, the PA is like, hey, you know what? I don't know, I didn't get a good vibe from that one. There. The door that you were meant to walk through, that was assigned for you to walk through, you have literally lit it up by your own doing. So please, in our journey of building our circle of influence and building our community and relationship building, let us treat every single person that we come across, regardless of title, regardless of rank, with the utmost respect. Our reputations precede us, particularly as entrepreneurs. I cannot tell you how many jobs I have gotten simply because somebody has said, no, you can work with Hetty, she'll be good. The way that we treat others will determine how they speak about us when we are not in the room. The third season you need to think about when it comes to your decision making is when you are in a season of bloom. That is when your business is beginning to run, you're beginning to monetize. Things are beginning to start to move forward. When you are in the season, one of the biggest mistakes that we make as entrepreneurs is that we fail to put the systems, processes in place that is going to assist us to continue to bloom. Many of us know of stories of businesses that were doing incredibly well and then all of a sudden they're nowhere to be found. And you think to yourself, what happened? Often at times when we start our businesses as solopreneurs, we're kind of just going with the flow. Funds are limited, resources are limited, so we try to do the best that we can with what we have. But as we begin to bloom, let's invest into our businesses. Get the tools and the resources that you need to be able to professionalize your business. We're going to talk about some of these tools today. You've heard me talk about SME Go from Old Mutual. I honestly love it to bits. And you know me, I don't talk about something I'm not using myself. It helps you to professionalize your business. Are you conducting yourself as if you are really going to the place that you desire to be? Because you need to do it today before you get to that particular point. So when you are in that season of bloom, think to yourself, how do I professionalize my business? How do I make decisions in my business today for the business that I want in the future? Beginning with the end in mind. And the fourth stage of decision making is when you are flourishing. The sun is shining on you. The leaves have opened up, your flowers have opened up, and your business is flourishing and doing incredibly well. Don't allow your mind to switch off as I talk about the season of flourishing. Don't allow your limiting belief to not allow you to hear these words because you struggle to imagine yourself in that season of flourishing. I need you to believe that that is the destination that you are going to with your business. When you are in the season of flourishing and expansion, we now need to begin to think about impact. How are we impacting the people that we are serving? How are we impacting our community? How are we impacting society at large? I often say to people that our businesses are our ministry. A person's ministry is not just standing on a stage and speaking in a pulpit. If you view your clients as your flock, and I were to come to you and say, how have you treated your flock? Will you be proud of the answer that you give? Because our businesses are an extension of ourselves. And so when we are in that season to flourish, first of all, give yourself a pat on the back. Allow yourself to celebrate yourself. You've worked hard and you deserve to be there. Then you need to think to yourself, okay, what are the footprints and the trail that I'm leaving behind so that others may be able to follow in my footsteps? These are the 4 different seasons: incubation, season to sprout, your season of bloom, and your season to flourish. When thinking about what is the one decision that you need to make today that is fundamentally going to change your business over the next 12 months, I want you to have an honest conversation with yourself. Which season am I in? And what is the decision that is the most appropriate for the season that I am in? Do I need to seek a coach? Do I need mentorship? You know the mentorship club is there. Do I need to start building my community and my circle of influence? Do I need to appoint my own personal board of advisors that I can be able to go to and seek wise counsel whenever I need it? If you're in your season of bloom, what systems and processes do I need to put in place? Not being complacent and saying, imali iyangena, it's always going to come in. Sometimes the money runs dry because we fail to put in the systems. And when you're in the season to flourish, what is going to be your gift to society? So I want us to stew and marinate on this. And towards the end of the day, I want to hear from you what that decision is that you have made for yourself.